What up, y'all? No-Handed Bandit here. Hope you're staying safe and washing your hands. This pandemic is tough because it's different. It requires us to do things different or to adapt. And I'm wearing my orange shirt today in honor of Limb Loss Awareness Month. But I also know that all those that deal with limb loss are dealing with adapting, and we're all dealing with adapting during this pandemic. We're dealing with change and changing the way we do things, and adapting is tough, right? We have to wear masks, wash our hands, and stop doing some of the things we used to do. And I'm gonna let you in on a secret. One thing we must be able to do is adapt. And animals that aren't able to adapt go extinct. And animals that can adapt, they go extinct. And the sooner we are able and willing to adapt, the more resilient we become. And I have a special guest on today, and you're gonna see us in the same room because we taped this a long time ago. And you can tell my hair's long, my beard is short, it's not even there. But my guest, he's a practice expert at adapting and has a great amount of resilience that each of you can learn from. So here we go. Today we have a special guest,
Mark Haley.
The reason Mark is here today is he had an idea about one of the No-Handed Bandits videos. But first, let's let Mark tell his story on how he became an amputee and what type of amputee he is. And that way, if you're an amputee with kind of the same amputations, you can look at the things that he's going to show and then take that into your life and use it to be able to help yourself.
So I am Mark Haley. In January 2018, I was drag racing my hot rod in Arizona, and a front tire blew out and put me in a wall. Tore up the car, tore at me, started a fire, resulted in the loss of my left hand and my right fingers, and pretty significant burns on my body. And I was in the hospital for a while and learned some tips and tricks while I was there that have helped me out and that I use to this day.
The idea that he had for a video is our magic trick bags. So amputees, sometimes to be able to go out into the world, they have to be able to know that they can do certain things. We often have bags with us. I always have a bag with me when I'm out in the public.
As do I.
Yeah. And as far as the mental side, Mark, how important is it to go outside and go out and interact with the public?
Oh, it's everything. We're social beings, and I was out and about before. I want to be again. I don't want to be trapped in my house. I know that's where my tools are, and that's what I need to live my life. But those tools have to be portable because I want to go to the movies, I want to go out to dinner, I want to go to work, I want to do the things that I'm going to do. And there are certain accommodations or certain tools that I have to have in order to accomplish those everyday life things. So those are tools that I have to carry with me everywhere.
All right. I felt the same way when I was coming from the hospital to my house. I felt like I was trapped in my house. I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to get in a situation that I couldn't handle. And so that's where I developed my little magic trick bag. And I'll talk about my magic trick bag on another episode. But today we're going to talk about your bag that you carry around. So why don't you tell the people about the things that you have in your bag?
It's not large. I don't have a whole lot of things that I carry with me. And so I just have my little gift bag that I get. It's just paper, so it does rip, and I do need to replace it every so often. It's inexpensive, so I don't mind doing it. and they're the certain tools that I carry with me. So one of the first challenges that you might encounter by not having fingers is being able to write. And so one of the things I carry with me is this splint that an occupational therapist in the hospital made so that it can hold a pen or a pencil or anything like that. And it used to be prettier and smoother, but last summer I made the mistake of leaving it in my truck, and it is heat sensitive plastic so that it can be heated up and formed, but when it gets hot it gets soft. And when I realized my mistake, my son and I brought it in the house, and then my son reformed it around my hand, and so it's not as smooth as it used to be, but it does work just fine. So, and then I can write whatever, so I fill out the logbook at work with it. I take it to work with me every day. I carry it around for when I need to do any kind of writing, and I just have it with me all the time.
You can write on this.
So. And my writing has always been that messy. That is not because of my injury, that's just how I write. Oh, and while I'm talking about my right hand tools, I should also talk about this glove. It has Dyson material on it, which NHB has talked about Dyson before and how useful that is. I use this for gripping, I use this for driving, manipulating things. I use this, not only does it grip things, it also protects the skin on my palm, which is kind of fragile. So this glove is incredibly useful. And you can see it's got some wear on it. I wear it every day. I go through a couple of them a year, and I use it all the time. So that's my glove. And then another aspect of being able to live my life in or out of my house is being able to eat. People will occasionally ask me, how do you eat? And my answer to that is with my mouth, just like you. The real question is, how do I hold my utensils? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I have these utensils that I carry with me everywhere. If I can get this one out of the bag. There we go. So I have this splint that holds that knife, which the same occupational therapist in the hospital made for me. I have this universal cuff, which are available in many places. And then I have my fork, which is just a regular fork, but it does have this bend in it so that when it's on my wrist, it is at the right angle so I don't have to twist my arm quite so much to get things on the plate. So I do not use my prosthetic to eat. I just strap that onto my wrist, and I will show that to you right now. So my prosthetic does fit kind of tightly, so I do have to, it's nice to have something to pry against to get it on and off. And so to put this on, it's just like any other U-cuff. I about did it backwards. And these universal cuffs are great. I have one with a comb in it. I have one with a toothbrush in it. And then I have this one that I carry with my fork. And they are also available at various places. They're cheap and easy to get. So my fork slides in that. And any fork that fits in there could be used. But if I went to a restaurant and bent every fork that I used, they would probably be annoyed. So I just carry my own fork with me. And then this splint slides on just the same way as the pen one. And then I slide the knife in a little bit, and then I use that to twist it and straighten it out. And then I can cut my food, I can pick it up and get it to my mouth. And you can see that if the fork were straight like a regular fork, I would have to bend my arm a lot more to be able to pick it up. So having that little bend in the fork makes it more comfortable to use. So that's what the bend is for. So that's my fork and my knife. And then the another aspect that I will show you, I actually should have done this before I took my arm off, is to get my prosthetic on and off. It fits kind of tightly enough that a little hand sanitizer is useful to have around to use as a lubricant. So I also carry a little thing of hand sanitizer around with me. And this one was a Christmas gift, so it's dressed up like Santa Claus. So I can open that, put a little sanitizer on the end of my arm, and then that makes installing my prosthetic a whole lot more comfortable. Just like that. And then one of the last things, or the last thing that I carry around is my button hook. Because jeans and t-shirt are my brand, I can't not wear my jeans, but I have to be able to do the button. So I made this button hook out of a wire hanger, made it myself in my garage, and so all of my jeans and shorts have, on the zippers, they have little miniature key rings, 1/2-inch diameter key rings on all the zippers, so that I can grab the loop on my zipper and do the zipper on my pants, and then I can feed this button hook through the buttonhole, grab this end of it with my hook, do my pants, and then this is rounded so that I can spin the hook around the button, and it does the button on my jeans. So these are all tools that I do not leave the house without them, and with these items make it so that I can live my life out in the world and do anything that I need to do while I'm out and about.
Okay, Mark, thank you for showing us that stuff, and thank you for telling me about your idea. I'm gonna do my bag on another episode.
Great.
It's very similar, but that's very important to get out in the public after being in the hospital and then feeling like a community. And I like what you said about your pants. You're a jeans and shirt kind of guy. Sometimes when we go through certain accidents and things, we don't want to change. We're still the same person, right? And we still want to be that person. And I like that a lot. And that's kind of like, that's why I love basketball. I will always love basketball, and I wanted to play it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you ever have any other ideas, you're welcome to come back on. If a viewer comes up with an idea or is similar and want to know more about what you do, I'll let you know if you wouldn't mind coming on again.
I'd be delighted to be your guest at any time.
All right, thank you, Mark. I hope you enjoyed meeting Mark, and I hope you learned something from Mark. In the description of this video, I'm going to put the link to a story about Mark, well, his story that he told on KSL News. Thank you, Mark, for coming and sharing your tips, and thank you to the viewers for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. We're at 1,900 subs. And hit the notification bell. Until next time, stay safe and peace out.